Pakistan. Second, there was a major uprising in Gilgit-Baltistan, and that too was reported first by Republic TV. Now, a major power breakdown has hit several cities in Pakistan, including Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad and Quetta, among others, around 7:30 this morning on Monday due to a fault in the transmission lines. Now, the Prime Minister says the grid failure followed a frequency variation in southern Pakistan. Pakistan often suffers from power cuts which are blamed on mismanagement and a lack of investment in infrastructure. The last major blackout in October took hours to restore. This clearly points out to how Pakistan is completely under crisis, from food to oil and now power crisis. In fact, this, as their foreign reserves plummet, situation seems to be extremely dire. Let me also go across to our reporter in Pakistan to get you the latest on what's really happening. Pakistani reporter Kaswar is going to join us in a short while from now to get you the latest on what's really happening, as there is a fierce debate on the Pakistan power outage. Kaswar, just give us a sense of what's really happening, because as I understand the reports that we were getting, that several parts were basically relying on generators, but there is in some parts we are being told that the power has been restored. What's the situation like, and if you can tell us what's the official version that the Pakistani authorities that they have put out?
Well, let me clarify. The power has not been restored yet. We have been, facing the power failure since morning, early in the morning, 8 a.m. Pakistan Standard Time. And well, as you have rightly pointed out, that the Pakistani authorities have claimed that the power has been restored to most of the areas. But I can rubbish their claim as well, because I am here in the heart of Islamabad, the capital, and even in the capital, in 70% of the capital city, the power is not restored. Even the people who have been, backed up by, the generator and other things as well, even the backup has failed now. First, we were told that the power will be restored in 6 to 7 hours, but it failed early in the morning at 8 a.m. and now it's going to be 6 p.m. in Pakistan, and the power is not restored yet. And I am telling you the situation from ground zero in the capital city. So what to talk about the countryside and the other things as well. So Karachi, you have rightly pointed out, Karachi, one of the powerhouse of Pakistan. Even the same is the condition over there. 75 to 80% of Karachi have been left without the electricity. Same is the condition there in Peshawar, Lahore, and other big cities as well. And I think at this point, even we cannot, discuss the situation in countryside and villages as well. So we are talking about the big cities, including the capital, where the power has not been restored. And let me tell you, it is not for the first time that Pakistan has been faced with power failure, because it's becoming, unfortunately, a norm in Pakistan. And now we have heard the Pakistani authorities that they claim that it was the negligence of some of the officials. But this is a statement which has become a normal procedure in Pakistan. Whenever we are faced, the millions of Pakistanis are faced with such type of crisis, and after a few hours, we witness a gentleman, preferably the Federal Minister of Power and Energy, that it was the negligence of some of the officials, and they just want to bury the situation as well. But the crisis is really deep, and as we all know, the Pakistan has been faced with numerous crises. With our, the foreign reserve has struck new low, and we are not even in a position to to pay the installments of the foreign debts as well, and in such condition, even an agriculture, the country has been faced with the wheat and flour crisis as well. So this power station, the failure, we are told that the two big power station developed, the fault, but it is unfortunately becoming a normal position. Even in last regime, we have been faced with such type of crisis multiple times, and now when we have a very experienced team in power and in the provinces as well. But this situation is the same, and it is sad story from the Pakistan side.
Just to get a sense from you with regards to the position that has been taken by the Energy Ministry in Pakistan, at least what I've been seeing is that they're saying that the attempts are being made to restore the grids. But as you've been pointing out, that several cities still face the power outage. Tell our viewers as to what led to a situation like this. This is not the first time. A couple of months ago, a similar sort of blackout actually happened, but then there was no clarity as to what was really happening on the ground. So what led to a situation like this?
Well, you have rightly pointed out, this is not for the first time that Pakistan has faced such type of the blackout. Even a couple of months before, we have faced such type of the crisis. And even the last regime, I was telling you, even during the regime of Prime Minister Imran Khan, we were even used to such type of blackout. So a nuclear armed state is facing such type of crisis. And the floor crisis is there, power crisis is there, and the foreign reserve had that new law. So we the millions of Pakistanis are used to it, and unfortunately I don't see any concrete the solution to the wheat, flour, and now the power the crisis, because Pakistan has been faced with multiple crises, and in addition to such type of the power blackout, the wheat flour crisis, and other such type of crisis, now we are facing another crisis, that is the political crisis. In two biggest provinces, in Punjab and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, we don't have the political setup over there. Both provinces have been the assemblies in both of the provinces has been dissolved, and it has just added to this crisis, to this grave crisis. And sadly, I don't see this type of crisis, or I don't see any the concrete solution to such type of crisis. And I am telling you all these details while sitting in the heart of the federal capital, Islamabad, and where I am reporting the facts. It is just 11 kilometers away from the Prime Minister's house. Can you imagine? So we are facing such type of grave, the grave problem while sitting 11 kilometers away from the Prime Minister's houses. Right. And most of the public and official, the residences and offices has been faced with such type of blackout as well. So this is a sad story from a nuclear armed state. And regarding your question, only a one-liner answer I have regarding your question. That is, in future, I think the millions of Pakistanis will have to prepare themselves to use to such type of crisis. When I'm telling you, the such type of crisis include the power crisis, wheat and flour crisis, inflation, and other things as well.
Right.
In future, I don't see any concrete solution either to the power crisis, blackouts, right, or even the wheat and flour crisis.
Well, thank you very much, Kaswar, for getting us that latest report from Islamabad, the story that we'll keep a close watch on. Getting you that exclusive interview now, Sonam Wangchuk, the social reformist from Ladakh, whose life story inspired Bollywood film Three Idiots, has urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi for ensuring the safety and protection of Ladakh, as studies suggested the extinction of nearly two-thirds of the glaciers in the Union Territory. Stressing the need for the adoption of sustainable development, the engineer-turned-education reformer appealed to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to ensure the protection of Ladakh and other Himalayan regions from industrial exploitation. Listen into that exclusive conversation where Dr. Sonam Wangchuk says that he is going to be on a symbolic 5-day climate fast, that too at 18,000 feet at Khardungla. Joining us on This Is Exclusive tonight is Dr. Sonam Wangchuk. Dr. Wangchuk, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, you're starting what you're calling a 5-day symbolic fast, and that too because you want to highlight a fragile Ladakh at this point in time, which faces severe challenges. First, what made you to take this particular decision?
Well, everybody knows Himalayas and particularly this region of Ladakh is very fragile environmentally. And now it has become a union territory, which is like the best news we could have. But the problem is that it is not complete with the safeguards that we expected. And those safeguards for the environment, people, and the land are enshrined in the Constitution of India on the basis of the 95% tribal population of Ladakh. This was taken as a no-brainer and a granted, given thing. But unfortunately, after assurances in the beginning of the UT announcement, they have not happened for the last 3 years, and people here are very concerned about all these issues. And we wanted to, especially leaders from Ladakh, both Leh and Kargil, have been in discussion, but not much has been happening on that front. Of course, government had given assurances. They had even kept it as the top priorities in their election manifestos. But so far, there is no safeguards for Ladakh, which would mean that it will be open for exploitation by all kinds of industries, commerce, and so on, which will be not possible for a fragile, sensitive region like this, a cold mountain desert. So therefore, to attract the attention of the government towards this, I am taking this step of symbolic climate fast for 5 days from this 26 January on top of Khardungla Pass. So my hope is that A, the government listens, and B, the people of India, because it's not just government that causes such things. It's the people in their big cities. So I am also appealing to people to join me in this.
Dr. Wangchuk, are there any particular projects that you're really looking at which you feel perhaps would be causing more problems for the people of Ladakh?
So apart from locally giving safeguards to the region, as I said, it is the lifestyle of people in the big cities in our country and abroad. So my mission is also to give them a call and draw their attention to the fact then that when these glaciers in the Himalayas are melted, you will also have a difficult time, because Himalayan glaciers are the source of water for roughly 2 billion people. 1 billion on the Indian subcontinent and another on the Chinese side. So 1/4 of the world's population depends on these. So I want them all to take this seriously. And therefore I was saying, while I go on a 5 days fast on the coldest place in India, I would like people in the big cities to also join me by doing a 1-day fast for the climate and pledge to change their lifestyles as called by the Prime Minister through the Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment, which he announced at COP27. So we have to bring this into action, and therefore I urge people to change their lifestyles, and I urge the government to give the due safeguards to Ladakh under 6th schedule of the Constitution.
Dr. Wangchuk, across the globe, we have seen several initiatives that are essentially being taken on forums like COP27, also multiple promises being made by developing nations as well as advanced economy nations. Do you believe that to a larger extent, all of this turns out to become a mere lip service without much really happening on the ground?
Yes, unfortunately that, and that will not change till citizens change. Every person on this planet needs to feel for the planet, and then the governments will feel and actually act. If people take it as, business as usual and think about their income, their revenue, their GDP alone, then we'll lose more than we gain through the income of our commerce and industry. You can imagine if heavy industries come to this fragile land, Ladakh, initially you may see some income coming from whatever copper or gold you can mine, but then it will leave the whole place destroyed. So short-term intelligent moves will not help. You need long-term wisdom. And that is one thing we can learn from the Joshimath incident, that short-term gain of few causing long-term problems for many.
Dr. Wangchuk, one final question that I would like to take from you is with regards to the dialogue that you may or you may not have had with the government so far. What is it that you would like to tell the government at this point in time? Because at the end of the day, not only citizens, but there is a larger role that the government also plays. And let's not forget there are multiple promises that have been made by our environment minister in the recent climate forum. And the fact of the matter is that the Prime Minister too has made multiple promises, and the fact that there is a roadmap that India wants to tread upon. So what is it that you would like to tell the government at this stage?
I would just appeal to the government to keep their promise, which was, explicitly made over the past 3 years, to give protection to this region and the people through 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution, and thereby we can make sure that this fragile land is protected. Because I've always said people of Ladakh are not so much concerned about, some income from this business or that, but rather in the long-term harmonious, sustainable progress of this region. So I appeal to them to consider these and call the leaders of Ladakh for talks to discuss how they can fulfill the promises they gave and make this announcement by the Prime Minister of declaring Ladakh as a carbon neutral zone a reality. Because when you keep it open for unlimited industry, you cannot go carbon neutral at the same time.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Sonam Wangchuk, for putting this into perspective and speaking to Republic TV.
Thank you very much.
Pakistan goes dark as power grid fails. Nationwide blackout in the terror state. There's a massive power outage in Pakistan. We look at that on The Debate tonight, 10 p.m.
भारत के प्रधानमंत्री जी की ये पहल कि अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह के 21 बड़े द्वीपों को हमारे परमवीर चक्र विजेताओं के नाम के साथ जोड़कर उनकी स्मृति को जब तक ये पृथ्वी रहेगी तब तक चिरंजीव करने का ये प्रयास मैं मानता हूं तीनों सेनाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ा उत्साहवर्धन करने वाला है। आज पराक्रम दिन है, नेताजी की 123वीं जयंती है। इस कार्यक्रम के साथ साथ जहां पर नेताजी रहे थे वो सुभाष द्वीप पर आज उनका स्मारक बनाने का भी निर्णय किया गया है। ये दोनों कार्यक्रम, ये दोनों निर्णय देश के प्रधानमंत्री के निर्णय अंडमान निकोबार को फिर से एक बार अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह को स्वतंत्रता की स्मृतियों के साथ समग्र देश के साथ जोड़ने वाले निर्णय है और मैं इसका बहुत बहुत मन से स्वागत करता हूं। भारत के प्रधानमंत्री जी की ये पहल कि अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह के 21 बड़े द्वीपों को हमारे परमवीर चक्र विजेताओं के नाम के साथ जोड़कर उनकी स्मृति को जब तक ये पृथ्वी रहेगी तब तक चिरंजीव करने का ये प्रयास मैं मानता हूं तीनों सेनाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ा उत्साहवर्धन करने वाला है। आज पराक्रम दिन है, नेताजी की 123वीं जयंती है। इस कार्यक्रम के साथ साथ जहां पर नेताजी रहे थे वो सुभाष द्वीप पर आज उनका स्मारक बनाने का भी निर्णय किया गया है। ये दोनों कार्यक्रम, ये दोनों निर्णय देश के प्रधानमंत्री के निर्णय अंडमान निकोबार को फिर से एक बार अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह को स्वतंत्रता की स्मृतियों के साथ समग्र देश के साथ जोड़ने वाले निर्णय है और मैं इसका बहुत